What's going on, everybody? Let's Talk Jets Radio. Just wanted to do a very quick video here. Apologies for being late on the stream tonight, but this video is not Jets related, just completely off topic, kind of in line with a lot of Tyson's mental health conversations. Where I just wanted to, thank all you guys. First off, tomorrow is going to be 2 years from when my sister passed unexpectedly, and just the overall message that I just wanted to share with you guys. Life can be very unexpected, and it's probably something that you hear sometimes, and maybe you take it for granted, or kind of goes in one ear out the other. You don't really take it serious enough. But real talk, as honest as I could say it to you guys, like, tell the people in your life that you care about, that you love. Let them know it. Like, don't be afraid to say it. Like, it might feel awkward sometimes, like getting messy into feelings and different things like that. But there's gonna come a point with every relationship that you have where you're not going to be able to tell that person anymore how you feel. And sometimes you might have a window where like, hey, the clock is ticking. My mother, she's been struggling with Alzheimer's and dementia for going on 7 years now, and it was wild the other day. It was her birthday on Saturday, and I sat down and I had my card all written out, and I sat there and I read it, and even the lack of response back, you could still see a look sometimes where it's like the words are getting through, and I'll never know what actually got through or not, what she was able to receive internally or not receive, but just for your own well-being, to know that you said everything that you had to say. I think that carries so much weight, because one of the worst things you can have in life, especially as you start getting older. I mean, I'm only 37, but I feel like I'm getting a little bit older. But one of the worst things you can have in life is a sense of regret about anything, about not doing something, about not doing enough, not saying what's on your mind, not taking action on something, not trying a new hobby, not taking a risk with somebody, or there's so many different things that you can have regret about. And ultimately, at the end of the day, when you put your head down on the pillow, you want to be able to rest easy, knowing that you put everything out there. You put all of yourself out there to all the people that mean something to you, and you didn't leave anything unsaid. You didn't, you don't have any things that you regret. You lived your life to try to enjoy it. And just on the whole conversation of it's okay to be not okay. Um, it's weird for me, because I embraced that for so long, and I still do. Obviously, it's always okay if you're not okay. But I guess the question that I'd like to ask is, for how long? For how long is it okay not to feel okay? And at what point do you have to acknowledge that maybe you have a problem, that you do need more than just help, or you need to change something drastically in your life? And I think that's where I was starting to get to, where the weeks became months, and then the months became years, and I noticed that nothing was changing for a while. And internally, I was telling myself, all right, well, it's okay that I'm not okay. But then when I started looking back, which I hate to, I always like looking forward, not backwards. When I started looking back at all the time that I'd given up, all the time I had wasted just not taking care of myself, and not living a better life, not having more memories and experiences that I could look back on fondly, instead of, wow, I just spent the last 2 3 years not doing anything. It does bring about that sense of regret, which kind of just continues the cycle of not feeling well. And when you can take a step back and look back at days, weeks, months, years, and say, all right, I did a lot of shit in that time, it certainly makes you feel a lot better. And obviously, that goes back to the original point of just reaching out to your people, whether it's family, friends, significant other, loved ones, and just really, like, legitimately letting them know that you're thankful that they're in your lives, and just things that maybe you wouldn't say on a normal day. It would mean a lot if you could do that for me tomorrow. You don't have to tell me if you did it. Just, reach out to somebody, let them know that you love them, let them know that you're here for them, let them know that you care, you have their back. And, again, just this whole mental health conversation is tough this time of year for me, because, with my mom's birthday on Saturday, that was also the last time that I saw my sister 2 years ago. And, it triggers so many different emotions. And a video popped up on my Instagram feed from a friend the other day that kind of dove into the whole, mental health conversation where this was a doctor that was speaking who acknowledged, years ago when all these conversations started to become a little bit more mainstream, it was initially all about breaking the stigma and making people feel comfortable with speaking out when they're struggling with something. And I think that was always the goal initially. And I think from that aspect, it's been successful. But what this person had to say, which was a much different perspective, is that it seems like people are getting worse, that people are struggling with more things now, that people feel as lost as ever, whether that's, an effect of social media or any number of different things. But talking about it, while it's a good thing, does it also trigger or cause you to feel like you can't take those risks in life and do those things because it might cause a trigger, it might cause you to relive some trauma or something that makes you feel a certain way. And just the how mainstream I feel like a lot of these conversations have become, which I think is such a good thing for so many people. You wonder if it does prevent some people from doing the real work, which is going out and living and experiencing those emotions and learning how to overcome them and, taking the lessons that come from each of those things. And as many bad things have happened in my life and traumatic events that have happened, you look back and you're able to say that you learned something from all of them. As tough as they were to go through, as much as so many of them will never ever make sense in my mind, I know that there were learning experiences that came from all these different things. And I think that's kind of the perspective that you need to have, that you can't stop yourself from living just because you experienced something tragic, because you went through something that caused hardship, that just sent you spiraling. You can't be afraid to continue living your life in fear of that. If anything, it should make you push further, knowing that tomorrow's not promised, nothing is guaranteed, nothing is promised to you at all in life, and it could all be taken away so quickly. And so, why have regrets? Why not live it up to the fullest? Why not just treat each day like a learning experience? Embrace the good, learn from the bad, and try to become a better person. Try to help out as many people as you can along the way. Try to bring laughter and smiles to people. And, if you screw up, if you make mistakes, again, it's a learning experience. Nobody's perfect. You're going to have those screw-ups in life. You're going to have those hiccups and those roadblocks. And ultimately, the goal, I think, is to just always be able to look back and say, whatever it was that I struggled with or that brought me down, I found a way to overcome it. And so, the final thing I just want to say is a thank you to all of you, because I genuinely don't know where I would have been without this stream, especially as everything happened 2 years ago. I was in a place that was lower than low. I didn't know what I was doing each day when I woke up. I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I didn't have a sense of belonging anywhere or any motivation really to do anything. And I remember I took probably 2 or 3 weeks off from streaming, and the first night that I hopped back on, while there was obviously a lot of pain and things that were going on inside, just having that normal interaction with all you guys in the chat and the dozens and probably hundreds of DMs that I got from so many people just saying, that my sister was in their thoughts and prayers, and if I needed anything, I could reach out, and just having those different support outlets to turn to, it makes you want to be able to provide that for other people. So my DMs are always open. It may take me a little bit to get to you guys sometimes, but my DMs are obviously always open. If you guys are struggling with something, if you need something, if life is just getting the better of you one day and you need a place to vent without being judged, like I got you there. I'm certainly learning that sometimes, not that you can't talk, but sometimes you do have to figure things out on your own. You know that people are there for you. You have your people that you can turn to, but sometimes you do have to learn to overcome things on your own and to be your biggest support system and to love yourself enough that no matter what happens, you're going to find your path and you're going to find your way through it. So thank you guys for also just giving me that path and giving me that purpose and keeping me going during some of my darkest times. I'll always appreciate it and always remember it. But be well, and again, tomorrow, just take some time, tell somebody in your life that maybe you haven't in a while, that you love them, that you appreciate them, and that you're here for them. So sorry for ranting too long, but appreciate you guys. Thank you.